Hi there, students. To validate. Validation. Okay, to validate is to make something officially acceptable, to make it officially approved after looking at it. So the immigration officer looked at my passport and then stamped it to validate my visa. Okay, so to validate, to make something officially acceptable. To validate, to prove that something is true, to prove that something is correct. So the problems that they are having now validate my original opposition to the implementation of this plan, of this scheme. Validation. Teachers are allowed to assess their students' work, but this does need validation. It does need external validation. And then to validate, you feel validated about something. You feel that this is something that you do and it's reasonable. For example, you go drinking with your friends and you laugh at their jokes to validate your membership of the group. Like that, you feel validation. So emotional validation, you are affirming that you belong to a group, or you're affirming the emotions that you feel. He looked at himself and he looked at his feelings for her in order to validate the love that he felt for her. So it's like recognition. You could validate a forecast by by seeing that this forecast has worked in the past. Social validation, to fit in, to be part of the majority. So if something is validated, it's sound, it's accurate, it's legitimate. I carried out the experiment to validate my friend's results, his test results, to make legally valid. The courts validated the election. Okay, so to corroborate, to confirm, or perhaps when you go to a shopping centre, you can have your parking validated if you buy something from one of the shops. So the shop take your parking ticket and stamp it saying, give this person free parking. I validate this because they've bought something in the centre. They haven't just parked there and gone off to do something else. So an analytical model needs to be validated, to be checked, to prove the accuracy of, to validate, to demonstrate or to support the truth of something, to show something to be true, to validate, to ratify, to endorse, to confirm. Okay, so without my wife to validate my feelings seem not to exist. To recognize the value of a person or their feelings or their opinions, to validate, to cause a person to feel valued or worthwhile. So every time my kids kiss me, it validates my role as a father. Okay, so to validation, the action of checking, the action of declaring legal, validation, the affirmation that you are valid, that you are worthwhile. The decline in sales validated my worries about the project. Independent validation of the data is essential. So to validate, to make legally valid, to ratify, the immigration officer validated my passport. An experiment to validate a hypothesis, to establish the legitimacy of something. The evidence validates his worries about this situation. To validate a claim or a statement is to confirm that it's true. This scientific discovery validates the folklore that is surrounded that it is surrounded in. To validate a person, to validate a system, to confirm that they are valuable, that they're worthwhile. The prize that he won validates the amount of time he has put into this. This film is a validation of our lifestyle. It says that our lifestyle is truly valid and worth it. It's a good thing. The evidence was validated by historians to endorse, to confirm, to ratify, to corroborate. You need an official signature to validate this. How do these results validate his theory? Talking to people who think like you helps to validate your feelings. Okay, so validation. To check that something is right, to confirm. Let's see, this comes from French, validation, to validate, validation of something. All of this comes from valid, from Latin validus, valeo. I am strong, I am healthy, I am worth. So validation. I think I'm going to give this a 5 in formatting, maybe 5.5, but still use it anywhere. Validation.